My climate change activist husband spent all my money on a new Tesla to save the environment, and now I'm struggling to pay for my daughter's education. Me and my husband met in college. I was pursuing an incredibly academically rigorous route to become a lawyer, whereas my husband was getting his degree in environmental sciences. My husband and I really connected as people, and so we got married soon after college. Only a year later I got pregnant with our first daughter. I love nothing more than our daughter, but I also am a really career-oriented person, so after her we haven't tried to have any more kids. My husband, on the other hand, said that he wanted to be a stay-at-home dad. This arrangement worked really well for us, and it made our life really convenient. Up until this year when I got my huge salary raise, but it also came with more work hours. Now I would barely see my husband and daughter as much, and most of our conversations were about climate change, because my husband was absolutely fascinated by it. Now one thing that's important is that we invest most of my money into our daughter's education because she goes to a very expensive private school. My husband during this period of time said that he wanted to make some minor changes to our lifestyle, so that we could be a lot more environmentally friendly. Of course I had no problem with that, and was always looking to help out my community. However, when this type of behavior starts to interfere drastically with my lifestyle, that's when I have an issue with it. At first it was just switching to reusing more of our stuff, and buying second-hand clothing, then it turned to buying more eco-friendly products. Then my husband started volunteering. Now again I have nothing wrong with pitching in to help the community, but this was totally messing up my schedule, and our daughter was now consistently getting picked up late from school. I tried to talk to my husband about this, but he just started to say, "Oh, I'm sorry for trying to help save the planet. Do you know how many animals and habitats are destroyed by the actions of people like you?" I let it drop because obviously I was glad that my husband found something that he was passionate about, and in the end we developed a much better system for taking care of our child. Later that week is when the second incident happened. My daughter called me from her dad's phone and started complaining about how dad was making her take cold showers. I asked her to pass the phone to him, and demanded he explain himself. He said that hot water was not a very eco-friendly thing and it was overall beneficial for the family to start taking cold showers. I said that there was absolutely no way that the whole family would be taking cold showers, and that if he wanted to he could, but neither me or my daughter would. Me and my husband weren't communicating that much at this point, and because of my terrible schedule now, which happened because my husband wanted to do more activism, now I have to pick up my daughter. Not to mention the crazy long work days I would barely get to see my husband. I had to keep on funding his desire to be an activist, and let's just say it wasn't cheap. One day while I was at the office I saw a huge deduction on our bank account. I immediately contacted the bank and tried to report some sort of fraud, but they informed me that it was my husband who had made a car purchase. When I got home I saw a brand new white Tesla sitting in our driveway and my husband was doing a photo shoot for it. I couldn't believe it and immediately started questioning him about what this was. I was in so much shock that he did something this big without telling me. Considering I was the main breadwinner of the family, and I paid for it. My husband couldn't stop talking the whole night about how good of an investment this was. He was on his phone posting on his Reddit and Facebook about his new car to all his eco-friendly groups. As I was frantically looking over our bank statements, I realized that this put us in a terrible financial situation. We already paid more than 5 figures yearly for our child's education, and this on top of that could really put us in a bad situation. I confronted my husband about this. While we were all getting in bed I told him that either he gets a job today and pays back what he owes, or else I'm divorcing him and selling the Tesla. What he did next was crazy.